Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome. Today is Wednesday, September 11th, 2024, and I'm going to be pulling cards for the daily message, motivational message for us all as we are ascending through some interesting energy. We'll just say that. I say ascending because I do feel that even though this period of time may feel like a descent, like we're going backwards again, it really truly is part of the process of awakening and evolving. So my experience, I've been talking about my experiences the last couple of days. I am feeling better from the fall that I had yesterday or the night before, or just the blackout. I spoke with a few friends, and there were others that were experiencing these dizzy spells at the same time, or around the same, I don't want to say at the same time, but around the same time frame. So that could have been it. But I know that I have been going back into the deep depths of myself, of my past, and I've been talking about that. One thing I want to share this morning, I was just outside, just like pulling some weeds and kind of looking around my yard to see, because I was starting to finally feel like I had the energy to move around and do more things today, physically, because my energy had been up and down. I've been going through a lot, processing and transmuting a lot of energy, old energy. And that's what came up today, was this sense that no matter what I was doing, I walked around the one side of my house to check on something. And as I walked around the other side, I started connecting with my gardens, and there are cars that drive by all the time. And this is rush hour time. Everybody's going to work, and I'm not, not yet. I basically, for the most part, not always, but make my own schedule. I've jumped out of the status quo for several years now. However, there was still a part in me this morning, and it hits me from time to time. I'm not going to lie. I battle with this one part in me, and it might be a father wound. It could be Saturn. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it is the inner disciplinarian, which is saying, why aren't you in your car going to a job? And what are you doing looking at your garden when there's probably lots of things to be done? And just this feeling, this energy of somebody's just watching me and judging me. Now, I know that's me. It's a part of me, but it was this sensation that I was being watched and I was being judged. This has been projected onto me through the mirrors of others. So again, it's hard unless you're really understanding this game and how we interact with each other and how we project and mirror things to each other that we actually hold within ourselves. I don't take things too personally anymore than when it comes from somebody else. I take it within, like, oh, there's a part in me that actually believes this or feels this way. So I sat with that part this morning, and it was linked to whatever energy pulled me out of my, which we all have, but as a child, I was extremely connected to nature and animals, and my psychic senses were wide open. Getting pulled into public school systems and moving every 2 years was a shock to the system. It was very unnatural to me, and I had to form and develop different sub-personalities and coping mechanisms to be able to survive in those environments that I never felt like I belonged. So here's me with the status quo of everybody going to their 9 to 5, or actually 8 to 5 or longer nowadays, in a rush, hurry, and I'm just taking my time out in my yard enjoying it, except for that part that's been programmed in me saying, like, beating myself up. Yeah, judging me, watching me. I don't think that it's me, but it definitely was programmed or put into me. Also through, my father. I don't think my mother really acted this way at all. She actually tried to go the opposite. If you're not feeling like going, don't go. That was my mom's attitude, but my dad was more rigid and strict. I don't know. I'm really hard on myself. I know that, and I've really been trying to sit with that part within me, the disciplinarian, the Saturn part. The rest of my body shut down whenever that part really tried to take over. Like, you got to work out more. You got, like, always, it's perfectionism. I'm really trying to beat the perfectionism, I think, and just feeling constantly judged. This also brings me back to old relationships where I felt constantly watched over and judged because they were teaching me that lesson that I actually had that within myself, and I was not seeing it. I was just taking it very personally. Not to say that, I didn't belong in those relationships either. Only for the amount of time that it was showing me this aspect in me. And no matter what I tried to do to work through it or try to have somebody see things from my perspective, it never worked. Could be that Seven of Swords energy that's been coming through. Anyway, just feel called to sharing my in-depth experiences each and every day as we move into eclipse cycle, because I really feel like each day is a little bit different, and we're working with different internal dynamics, internal parts of ourselves that have been very sneaky in their operation, let's say, because we just know it to be a part of us, or we know it to be somebody else's influence on us that we took on. So let's get into the message for us all today. It is 9/11 energy today. We have the sun in a square with Jupiter today. So be mindful. You may feel like you can do a whole lot, but don't go overboard. This could be the energy of overdoing it. So enjoy whatever energy is giving you a nice pep-me-up or boost, but don't overdo it. It would be the message from the astrology. All right. I hope you're all doing well. I know that my messages are not going to resonate with like thousands and thousands of people at this point in time, because we're all sort of doing our own shadow work, inner work, and that's fine. I'm not looking for the amount of views, but those of you who are resonating with what I'm saying or the readings, I'm so glad that you're here. And we've got a nice, beautiful community here for sure, and I'm grateful for all of you, and welcome any of you who are new. We have the owl, the moon, and the moon and the star. Wow, I have the chills. The moon, seeing through the shadows, through our psychic senses, the owl. So many of you, just like myself, may be having very vivid memories or dreams or both of your past. And these are parts of the past that we would love to just never have another memory of again. Yet it is important that we go back to the underworld of ourselves and retrieve some aspects of ourselves that we may have left there. All right. That's an important part of like soul retrieval. And also when we go back in memory, I'm not saying go back physically, maybe some of you do, but wouldn't recommend it. I mean, that's my own personal take. But going back in memory, going back in reflection, deeper to the parts that were like, oh, I would love to just forget that altogether. There's something very important there. The polar bear, the star. There's a gift It says a gift from the Great Spirit, healing. There's a part, we always fracture off parts of ourselves when we're having really difficult experiences or traumatic experiences. And many of us are being called back there to recalibrate, recalculate, seeing whatever we're being brought back to in memory from a multi different perspectives and the highest perspective. You know the saying, there are three sides of the truth: your truth, my truth, and the actual truth. That's sort of what we're getting at. If we are brave enough and strong enough to actually go back there and definitely take accountability for our own ways of reacting and responding to life's situations that we signed up to experience and release. Maybe it's not even a retrieval, but it's like, let me give this back to you. This is, just in energy, with love. Let me give this back to the divine. This does not belong with me. This judgment, this comparison. I remember I used to always be told that, this is from a past partner, that I was always being watched. Everybody was watching my every move. And this was like before Facebook. And maybe it was right when Facebook started. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, we lived in the middle of the nowhere. I'm like, who's everybody? Who are all these people you're talking about? Oh my. Okay, interesting. Let's keep going. So there's some healing here. And this is the feeling that came up. Actually, I'm bringing that up because this is the feeling that came up for me just earlier when I was outside. Was like I was being watched. Almost like I was tiptoeing around my yard, like, who is watching me? This eerie, creepy feeling that I used to get in my past a lot. There's healing for this. Wow. The birds are flocking over my bird feeder this morning, and we have the cricket. Okay. I do feel like there's some big breakthroughs happening for all of us, but there are certain things that we're being called back to in memory, in emotional, like psychically, to either retrieve something that was left, whether it's our power, our strength, our self-confidence, or to give something back. This doesn't belong to me. I'm sorry. I took this with me when I moved on. I didn't realize it, and I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't need it. So the cricket is serendipity, moral compass, liberty. I'm going to go a little deeper into that. These are all oracle, by the way. That's interesting. This is this deck contains 100 cards, so some are tarot and some are oracle. Mostly tarot, but it's interesting that we got all oracle today. Overall, we have the chameleon, which speaks of camouflage, adaptation, and clairvoyance. You can hear the birds pecking on the bird feeder. So that's another thing that I've been definitely experiencing. It's not all of the past reflections and going back there psychically. And this is just timelines. These are waves of energy. The past already happened, but we can go back and kind of change our perspective of the past for ourselves. Wow. Yeah. So there has been also a lot of serendipitous memories and feelings and sensations that I have been experiencing off and on the last 2 weeks. It started with that. So that brought me, that elevated me into this blissful state, gratitude. And so I still carry that with me. I'm not dropping that off anywhere. It's like I'm retrieving all of these parts of myself that, for whatever reason, the inner authority, the judger, the judge and jury, they're saying, within me, and this may definitely resonate with many of you, the internal manager, the part within ourselves that holds the guilt and the shame and is like, blah, 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 always judging us. I'm definitely a recovering perfectionist and OCD. I had it really, really bad, especially in my last marriage. And I know that my eyes have the ability to hyper focus on things, but oh my gosh, it was like I lost myself in that. I'm recovering from that. Talking to that part, it is becoming more adaptable for me and not so strict and rigid. Yet I know I still have it. I can change that, transmute that into another one of my gifts. Being able to, it is an ability to see what's the most important thing that you're supposed to be looking at that point in time, because we're always surrounded with so much stuff and so much energy and so many messages, and it is a hyper-focused energy that when we get the comparison and the competition and the I'm not good enough or the inner critic or the judge and jury out of the way, we actually can use that as a superpower, as a gift. I don't know where this is going. Oh, yeah. I mean, I feel like many of us are going through that, especially starting off with the moon. And the moon, speaking of our psychic senses, also our emotional body, being able to see our shadow, but see through the shadow, what created that shadow, and how can we really begin to transmute that energy. Wow, this message is going to be deep. Already is. I can't imagine how much deeper it is. There we are with the Ace of Wands again. This is giving new ideas, new insight. And it is changing us energetically, whether you're aware of it or not. A lot of the times when we're changing energetically, we're not so aware of it, but every cell and atom in our body is a receptor and transmitter, and this is what I talk about, cellular memory. It is like a recalibration, and we want to do it slow and we want to do it steady, because that's the only way to do it, the healthy way to do it. 5 of Cups, healing from, so many of us have left things behind that we really didn't want to, but we had no choice. Now, this can be friends, this can be family, this can be pets. I've left pets behind in order to go through your healing and go through the what we needed to go through as far as the awakening goes. When we're going through that transitional phase, we do have to, a lot of things drop off. It's not even really a choice. A lot of people drop out of our lives. A lot of things we have to give up for our own sanity, our own journey. And now we're at a phase where we're healing the loss or the sadness. There could still be some underlying. This card's different than than the traditional 5 of Cups. Because the traditional tarot, the 5 of Cups, it has 2 cups that still stand upright. But here, everything has spilled over. It's all spilled out. This is almost like I can't feel anything but sadness and grief for what is no longer here. And if that's where some of you are, allow that. Listen to the body. Allow yourself to grieve. But falling below the polar bear, the star, I think we're moving. Many of us are moving and healing beyond that phase of the journey. Where no matter what the ego, we have other parts that try to like lift us up and pep us up and get us going. There's this underlying feeling of like, but everything that I ever cared about in the past is gone. This is a gift from the Great Spirit. This energy is to lift our hope up high, the star, hope, wish upon a star, as we really heal deep-seated wounds and traumas from the past, from what has been lost. And take it as it resonates for you. I'm feeling that. All right, good. And we have the Hangman again, second day in a row overall. So we have the Emperor with the cricket. We're feeling more in charge of our lives. Following that moral compass. Seeking liberty. Demanding liberty. Okay. And then overall we have the Hangman with the chameleon. The chameleon is saying camouflage, adaptation, clairvoyance. So it is important, wherever you are on your journey, to allow and surrender to those times where you may feel an overwhelming sensation of emotion and you've got to take like a break, a breather, drop back from all that you've been planning to do and take some time to the self. Other times, when we're not listening to those messages, the universe is like, your car's broken down, you can't go anywhere, you're stuck sitting with yourself, so deal with it. I don't see that as this. I see it, but for some, maybe the Hanged Man is a spiritual lesson, and it is meant to really enlighten us to something much, much more than how we were perceiving ourselves and our life path up to this point in time. So there is some new insight, new ideas as we use our psychic senses, seeing into the shadows of the self, healing from what has been lost. And the loss can even be what I've been experiencing. The loss is those innocent, creative aspects of me that maybe I had been judged, and then I judged it as bad because maybe I had gotten punished. These are memories. I don't have any memories actually of my childhood before the age of 9 or 10, when my life really eruptively adjusted. I have, some fond memories. I can look at pictures and see it myself, but it's so strange to like have a complete blackout. There's definitely things that happen there, and some of those things are coming to the surface, showing me in a unique way through my relationships. Mostly for me personally, my relationships with men from that point on. So, take it as it resonates. And I hope you found this to be helpful for you today. Sending you all so much love. Take care. Bye.